a third official entry, which, by the way, is Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. It also gets a cute pair of puppy dog legs down there in the background. Pup, say hello. Pup's pretty tired, and he's not wearing pants. Sorry about that. So today, it's Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. This is a compilation released in 2009 for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It includes 39 Sega Genesis games as well as 9 unlockable Sega Arcade Master System games. And it belongs on the shelf, on my favorite shelf, because it packs tremendous value, obviously. It's one of the best of its genre, or certainly the best of its class, in my opinion, and because it's one of my first and favorite 7th generation titles. Now, concerning value, I already mentioned it's got 48 games, but they're also very well presented. It's set up very nicely. They all look and feel very good. That's not always the case with compilations. There are some compilations like the Capcom Classics for the PlayStation 2, for example, is just one I can think of, where it's a tremendous list of titles, but there's some emulation problems and it's not very well presented, blah, blah, blah. Not trying to hammer on that one, other than it disappointed me because I really love that game list and I wish it'd been a little better done. But this is just really well done in every sense. There are some duds on the game list. It's not all my favorite Genesis games, but it is a really good way to play a really good list of games. And also, it's got a fun little manual. Don't you guys miss manuals? I miss manuals. Sonic Unleashed on the back. I've never played that. I don't know what that is. So the second facet of this is that I mentioned that I think it's one of the genre's best. And by genre, I mean anthologies, compilations. It's probably one of the best. Now, when you're talking Xbox 360, PS3, 7th gen stuff, it does have to compete with the Orange Box, which the Orange Box, you may know, is an excellent compilation. However, I don't really consider those to be in the same class. So even if they're in the same genre, when I'm talking about a certain class of game like this, I'm talking about a game that takes a retro system or a retro series of titles and slaps a bunch of them onto a single disc. And in terms of that, against competition like Capcom Classics, SNK Arcade Classics, Midway Arcade Treasures, against those types of games, I believe that this, at the time, was far and away the best, and I still do believe that it is one of the best. And that does include the rare replay, because I was extremely disappointed with, well, naturally, with just all of the downloadable nonsense that goes on in modern generation titles. And sorry, I'm going to cover up, Pup, you're naughty. And I have not played the Atari anthologies on the PlayStation 4. Are those even on the Xbox One? I haven't played those, so I can't speak for those. But at the time, I believe that this was the best individual anthology of its type or of its class. And finally, it's a personal favorite game. Now, this one was a little trickier in terms of putting it on the shelf because I mentioned I didn't want super common or super cheap games. And this is pretty much on that end. It's fairly common. It's fairly inexpensive. It's not hard to find. A ton of people have it, or had it at least. I see it at garage sales and stuff quite a bit, and that makes me sad because it's such a good game. But I'm going to go ahead and take a pass here because I think it's probably my favorite way to actually enjoy these games. Now, first of all, it's one of the first games that I ever had on the 7th gen. I got this game, and maybe Red Dead Redemption was I don't remember for sure. But then this one, I specifically went out of my way to get it because all of my Genesis stuff was packed up because we lived in a small apartment. Well, guess what? We live in a small apartment again, and we've downsized, and I'm kind of in a similar place where this has become extremely valuable. It also doesn't hurt that I love this type of game. I love anthologies and collections. I consider myself pretty resourceful, pretty value-centric, and so that's me as a person. In terms of video games, it makes anthologies and compilations extremely appealing to me. So I have a very strong personal connection with this game to the point where I'm going to go past its somewhat common, somewhat inexpensive nature. It's probably not in anyone's like top 10% of favorite games or anything like that, so that makes me feel better. When I'm putting stuff on the shelf, I would like to avoid the super obvious. I'd like to avoid the top 10%. I don't think this falls there, so that makes me feel okay about it. Anyway, again, just to rehash a little bit, this game here packs tremendous value to the tune of 48 individual games. And they're all very good, or at least put on here very good. I hate, what is it, Super Thunderblade? Is that what it's called? There's a few games on here I hate, but they all play the right way and feel how they're supposed to feel. It is a class best if you're sort of considering with me this type of compilation to be in its own class, and it's a personal favorite with which I have some strong history. And that is why I believe this game should be on my favorite shelf.